We're going to start with bouncing today. Our feet firmly planted under our hips, and we'll just start slowly shaking things up, changing up our energy. You're welcome to keep your eyes open or closed, whatever suits you best. Wobble around, swaying, moving, however feels good. Breaking up energy, waking us up a little, revitalizing us. We'll do a Yin Yang session today, so a little bit of dynamic movement and a little bit of strength building in our holds. Break up any tension, stress, anxiety we may be hanging on to, these feelings that we just need to let go of. It's almost New Year's. One more day left in the year to reflect and set ourselves up for a new year. Fresh. All about leaving behind what doesn't serve us and keeping what does. Letting our heads sway. Feeling the muscles in our faces, relaxing if you can stop smiling long enough. Let's go for 10 more seconds. 5. Wobble, wobble. Good. Coming to our resting place, finding stability and grounding in our feet underneath us. Let's go through a quick body scan, head to toe, just noticing the vibrations throughout the body. The muscles in our faces soften, flowing through our necks, into the shoulders and down the arms. Through the chest, upper back, into the abdomen and lower back. To the hips, legs, knees, shins, calves, ankles and feet. Getting a sense of the mood of the body. Noticing any areas of tension, lightness. And taking a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Breathing in new energy, curiosity. Exhaling any judgment, competition, or expectation for today's practice. And on the next inhale, we'll lift our arms all the way up above our heads into our hollow holds, arching the lower back gently. And exhaling, rounding out, keeping our arms along the sides of our ears. Inhale, rising up. Exhaling, rounding out, chins to chest. Finding our flow with our breath. Slowly starting to integrate the body and breath. One movement, one breath. Extending long. Feeling the lungs. And expanding our rib cages laterally. Let's do 2 more. And bringing those arms down along our sides. Taking a deep breath in between in mountain pose, drawing the shoulders back, shoulder blades towards the spine. Palms are facing forward. And on the next inhale, we'll lift our arms all the way back up, grabbing onto our left wrist with the right hand, coming into a side bend here. elongating the spine so as not to fall over on the right side. Breathing air into the rib cage, separating each rib out. Creating some space in our lungs and our chest. And then stepping back with our left foot, if that feels accessible and stable enough. One more breath. Inhale, come all the way back up. Floating the arms down. Deep breath in between. On the next inhale, we swoop our arms up. Grabbing onto the right wrist. And sinking over to the left. Again, elongating the spine. And breathing space into the ribs on the right side of the body. Stepping back with the right foot if you so desire. Maybe feeling a little extra depth to the stretch, possibly even through to the lower back. One more breath. And then inhale, rising up. Exhale, floating the arms back down. Deep breath in between. Let's step wide on our mat. And we'll do a few sunflowers and moonflowers first off with our arms in a 5-point star, reaching all the way up on the inhale, sinking down on the exhale, drawing the shoulder blades towards the spine. Inhale, rising up. Again, one movement, one breath, keeping the pelvis and hips aligned. Going with your flow, feeling the grounding of the feet beneath us. Slowly warming up the internal core temperature. Adding some ujjayi breath to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. Adding some additional calming to the nerves as we warm up. And on this time, sinking and hinging a little deeper, scooping towards the floor. Inhale, rising up, crossing the arms. Again, flowing to our breath. Finding a flow that works for your body today. Option on the next one to come up with one arm and add a lateral flexion. Alternating sides. Reaching and side stretching. Two more on each side. And as we finish this last one, we come all the way down into Goddess, bringing our hands into prayer, pressing the palms together, tucking the tailbone underneath us. Feeling the grounding of our feet, the strength of our legs. Tall upper bodies as we press the palms together, dynamic tension through the whole body. Bringing our attention softly to our breath, where it enters the body, the rising and falling of our lungs or our abdomen. Two more breaths. Let's do our side foot taps, lateral tapping, side to side, alternating, going with your own flow. Slowly warming up the inner thighs as well as the glutes. Two more on each side. Coming over to one side, all the way into somewhat of a lateral lunge, or all the way down into a skandasana, whatever works for you. Supported as much as necessary. Focusing our energy on the inner thigh, getting a little bit of a stretch here, keeping our foot flexed, toes are pointed to the sky. No judgment or competition. If we need to support, we need to support. We honor our bodies. We're not at the same place, and we're not expected to be. Pressing up with our arms back to center, and we'll come all the way over to the other side. Noticing any differences from one side to the other. Again, focusing our energy on the inner thigh, keeping our foot flexed, toes are pointed to the sky. Getting whatever stretch you need out of it. Inhale, we'll press ourselves back to center, this time with our feet pointing forward, up on the fingertips. Oh, let's just shift around, coming up on our toes, back onto our heels, rocking forward and back. Bringing awareness to our vestibular system, while also breathing air into the back of the legs, lengthening, noticing any areas of tension. Bringing awareness to our feet, our ankles, our toes. Turning on our proprioception. And planting our left hand back down underneath our faces, opening up our bodies with the right arm either stacked above or behind the back. Opening up our chests while getting a spinal twist here. Breathing energy into the back of the legs and the left arm that's anchoring, channeling energy through the body. Noticing our breath. On the next exhale, we'll lower our right arm. And on the inhale, we'll draw our left arm up over the body or behind the back. Pressing firmly into the mat with our right hands. Likely feeling this in the back of the left leg. Finding a soft gaze somewhere you can focus on. And on the next exhale, we'll lower our left hand back down, bending our knees, bringing our arms to the inside of the thighs. We're going to press away one arm at a time, lowering our shoulder into the center. Getting an extra little stretch of the inner thighs while strengthening our shoulders and forearms. If this isn't intense enough, you are welcome to bring your hands to the inner thighs. See what works best for you today. One more on each side. And let's come back into Goddess one more time here. Palms are pressing together, tilting our tailbone underneath our hips. Bringing our attention and awareness to the strength of our legs and the breath as it comes into the body and as it exits. Noticing what's happening in our faces, our jaws, and our necks. Where are our shoulders at? Two more breaths. And on the inhale, we'll rise all the way up to standing. Exhale, lowering our arms. Coming back into mountain pose, we'll do some standing balances. So bringing our feet back under the hips. We'll start with the right foot. Yeah, let's bring it up to 90 degrees, flexed foot. And let's just march back and forth, alternating legs, left and right. Again, going to your speed, there's no rush. Finding our grounding in the foot as we place it down. Option here to extend the leg out, retract and lower. Or continue with the 90 march, keeping that foot flexed. Tall upper bodies, as if there's a string attached to our heads, keeping our spines nice and long. Let's come back to our marching, this time on an angle. Feel free to move around the mat. Changing up the patterns in our minds, creating new neural pathways, new brain cells. Last chance this year as a group. And if you'd like to extend the leg out again, you are welcome to do so. Really focusing and forcing our bodies to stabilize, to find balance and stability. Let's do one more on each side, and then we'll come into our floating tree balance. As you feel like moving through your tree, or holding a tree pose, or even a big toe stretch, finding a flow or a hold that you like. Again, trying to keep our spine in alignment. Reaching for that toe possibly, maybe even reaching for the shin. Continuing to flow to challenge our balance and stability. Very nice. Finding a tree as and when you'd like. Extending our branches if that feels good. And again, just finding a drishti, somewhere we can gaze at, focus our attention. All four corners of our feet pressing into the mat underneath us. And let's add in a flexion here as everybody is completely stable. Again, challenging our mind and our body. Reaching tall and long. Breathing into the side body again. Well done. Coming back to center. Let's shake that out. We'll find our flow to the opposite leg. This time, if you'd like to do some hip circles, working through, adding some synovial fluid to the hip joints. Let's change directions. And when you're ready, start to come into your tree pose on the opposite side. lateral flexion if you so desire. Releasing out of that, my powerful trees. Wiggle the ankles around, crunch in the toes, give it a shake. And before we make our way down to the mat, what would it be without finishing the year without some warriors? So again, let's flow. Let's flow. And you may want to just keep flowing, but of course you have the option to extend your arms behind us into a powerful warrior, ahead of us for additional challenge of our stability. Holding if you feel that you'd like to, if you find a calm center. Rotating the hip down so our hips are square to the mat, keeping the back foot flexed. Front foot is grounded, knee may be bent. Listening to our bodies, finding our own stability and place of ease. From here, you are welcome to come into a standing split at any time. Pressing that right leg back a little bit. Bringing both feet back to the mat, bending our knees. Inhale, rising all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Taking a breath in between. And when you're ready, let's flow on the other leg. Coming up to 90 and extending back. Finding a placement for our arms. Keeping our hips square to the mat. Back foot is flexed, toes are pointing to the mat. When you're ready, you can come into a standing split. Lifting the back leg a little bit higher, pressing into the front leg, straightening with each exhale. Two more breaths. We'll lower that back foot down to the ground, bending our knees, swooping all the way up on the inhale. Exhale, hands to heart. Now we'll go through a vinyasa here. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Let's do 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. 1 more. Swooping down. Inhale, halfway. Forward fold. Inhale, rising all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart, this time sinking into our chair. Option to rock up onto the balls of the feet and lower down to the heels. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Hanging here, finding our firm grounding of our feet. Rocking side to side, allowing our heads to hang long. Shifting the weight of our torso, left to right. Drawing awareness to what's happening in the back of the legs and the lower back. And finding a neutral position. For a few breaths, drawing length into the back of the legs. Good. Bending the knees, bringing our hands down to the mat and lowering ourselves down 1 leg at a time. Coming into all fours. And we'll do a few spinal balances here first. Hands are directly under the shoulders, knees are to the hips. Let's go ahead and extend our left leg out, flexing the foot. We're squeezing the quadricep here. Go ahead and lift if you're ready to, keeping the hips in alignment to the mat so that that left foot is pointing to the floor. And if you'd like to extend the right arm, you are welcome to. Option to hold, option to crunch in, elbow to knee. Option to keep the foot on the floor. Feeling the grounding of our right foot into the mat, our left hand. Feel the strength of our left arm. And just notice that diagonal movement pattern between the right arm and left leg. Let's go for 3 more breaths or movements. Good. And we'll settle our left leg and right arm back down to neutral. Curling our toes under the shins. Let's press up into our first down dog. And we'll rinse out what we've done on the left side, pedaling the feet, pressing one heel down to the mat at a time, as long as you need, pushing through, bending and pushing. Finding our resting place, pressing both heels towards the mat. Nice deep breath here. And we'll lower back down into all fours. And repeat the same spinal balance on the opposite side. So again, with the right leg extended, quadricep is engaged, foot is flexed, lifting the foot off the ground if you like, adding the arm if you like, adding a crunch if you like. Finding our grounding through the right hand and the left foot, pressing into the mat. Again, noticing that diagonal pattern running from the left shoulder through to the right hip. Pressing away into that right shoulder, pressing as far up as we can. 3 more movements of breath. Lowering our left hand and our right leg back down. Coming back into our neutral position, pressing back into down dog on the exhale. Curling those toes under. And let's shift the hips left to right. Pivoting the feet all the way to one side. Coming up on the fingertips. Feeling a little bit of tension in that hip. Good, very good. Switching over to the opposite side. Pivot the toes, pressing the heels back. Come up on the fingertips. Press into the hip. And rotate back to center. Let's lower down into child's pose. Reaching the arms long along the mat and sinking back. Shifting left to right into the heels, into the hips if that feels good. One more of our favorite dynamic moves. How to finish the year strong. Inhale, rising back up into all fours. We're going to step into our plank position here. Linda's favorite, I hope. Back into our plank position. Coming into down dog and then into plank, noticing that our hands are under our shoulders, pressing into down dog, feeling the stability there. We're going to be lifting from down dog, our right leg, coming into our plank, crunching our knee, elbow, elbow, and extend all the way back. Down dog, lifting the left leg, same motion, elbow, elbow, and extend. Moving through this combination to your own breath, your own power. 3-legged dog, pressing the heel all the way down to the mat. And then shifting and alternating legs. Breathing into the left and the right legs as we press back. Option, of course, is just to do a plank, down dog, or come into child's pose at any time. We need to rest. No judgment, no competition. Just options. Two more breaths or movements. That may be one more on each side. Good. Coming into our down dog, let's all meet here. Lifting our left arm off the ground and reaching towards the right knee, shin, ankle, what have you. Again, building our strength and stability. Connecting our mind to our body. Let's place our left hand back down, right hand comes off, reaches for the left knee, shin, ankle. Good. Let's come back into our plank, folding here. Finding our grounding, we're lowering down into forearm plank, keeping our torsos parallel to the floor. We won't be here long. Feet are about hip width apart. Keeping our abs engaged as if there's a string pulling our belly button up to the ceiling. Two more breaths. Let's roll over onto the left forearm, pivoting our feet and into our side plank. Well done, well done. Supported as needed with the lower leg. Good, come back into our forearm plank. Find your stability and roll over to the right. Again, you are welcome to lower that bottom leg for support. Pressing through the right shoulder, the right hips, reaching up to the sky. Two more breaths. Rolling out of that gently, finding your stability. Come into our dolphin. Walk the feet in a little bit. Good. Bringing our attention back to the breath. Expanding the lungs, drawing the air all the way into the abdomen, pressing through the shoulders. And let's lower down into child's pose. Good job. Yay for that. Inhale, let's rise up, grabbing a sip of water as needed. We'll come onto our knees in Vajrasana or rock pose before we come onto our butts. Do you love it? We selected all of our favorites for our last class of the year. Before we come onto our butts, we're going to do some cleansing of 2020 rubbish. Kali Mudra hands, we're going to make pistols with our hands. Our index fingers and our thumbs are pressing together. And we'll make a little clasp interlaced in the hands. But we really want to focus on clearing a path for 2021, letting go of anything and clearing it out of our way that may be blocking us mentally, physically, or emotionally. We're going to take our arms and we're going to slice through as if we're coming through a forest, visualizing that we're cutting through that forest. We're chopping our path for 2021, using our Ujjayi breath, exhaling on the force, chopping through, visualizing that we're getting rid of everything that doesn't serve us. We're keeping only things that do, creating space for new things to come in. All of our might. We are going to have a good 2021. Positive energy, focus, and determination. 3 more. Finding our stillness when you're ready. Taking a moment to reflect, drawing in new energy, creating space in our minds and our world, our lives for new, exciting things to enter, knowing that we can always chop out anything that doesn't serve us at any time. We are fierce, we are powerful, and we have choices. Coming into a reverse table. Hands are underneath our shoulders once again. Feet are 90 degrees firmly planted on the floor. We're going to do our reverse tables. Deep breaths in and exhale, coming all the way up. Let's hold here, shifting left and right, noticing any tension in our shoulders or our arms. Finding our grounding in our feet. And finding a neutral position for our heads and necks. Lowering down. Inhaling. Exhale, pressing up. And let's flow through this. Again, letting our breath power us and guide our movements. Maybe noticing the front of our arms starting to loosen. No doubt your legs are talking to you. Let's do 2 more. ourselves a hug, this time wrapping our arms underneath our thighs, extending so that our upper bodies are nice and tall. You are welcome to bring the feet together, keep them out, wrap long, deep, extending as tall as possible. And then let's round out. We'll continue our cat-cow here. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, sinking and rounding out. Inhaling, elongating the spine. Exhale, rounding out. Engaging our shoulder blades. Drawing strength, power into our upper bodies. One more. Taking a breath in between here. Rolling our necks around. Left to right, up and down, round and around. Letting go of any tension we might be hanging on to for no good reason. Inhale, lifting our heads. And we'll roll down onto the mat gently, one vertebrae at a time. We have options again, of course. We have hip bridge. We have a shoulder stand and plow. So let's do whatever suits us best today. We can all start together in hip bridges. Again, feet are firmly planted, legs are about 90 degrees. On the inhale, we lift our hips up, remembering the dynamic tension of our thighs, lowering down one vertebrae at a time. On the exhale, resetting. Inhale, lifting up, pressing through the feet. And exhale, lowering. Continuing this flow, feeling the dynamic tension in the thighs. And starting to feel the neck elongate. Maybe curling the chin towards the chest. Maybe even floating the arms as you exhale. Two more. And let's all hold this next one at the top, driving through the shoulder blades, rolling a little bit onto the shoulders, feeling the dynamic tension through the thigh muscles, keeping our knees tracked over our ankles. One more breath. Let's lower down, curling our knees into our chests, rocking side to side if you like, adding additional massage of the lower back as well as the hip flexors, moving them around. Option here to come up into a shoulder stand and then into a plow. Option to keep hugging, come into happy baby, or of course into your hip bridge. Listening to our bodies. Alternatively, you may wish to just stay here with your feet extended, activating the lymphatic system. Taking a few moments to choose what works best for our practice today. Coming down slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Good. And we'll all meet Linda and Happy Baby. Stretching one leg out at a time, drawing the other one into the center. Extending both if that suits you. Keeping our shoulders on the mat. Two more breaths. And then let's draw our feet together. Pressing the bottoms of the feet together, drawing the heels down towards our center. Dynamic tension in the upper body, drawing the shoulders down to the mat. Pressing the knees away. Feeling our hips and our lower backs pressing into the mat. Feeling the contact of our body against the mat. Extending the feet up over the hips, flexing the feet. Additional lymphatic drainage for anyone that didn't do a shoulder stand. Wiggle the feet if you like. I'm going to throw one more thing at you guys. One of our favorites. Let's try to do 10 scissors. Go. Hover our leg. Come on, let's finish the year strong. Make an L with our legs, arms overhead, chopping through. Let's use this as another clearing exercise, chopping through. Using our power, reminding ourselves how strong we are, how powerful we are, and that we are in control of our choices, our decisions, and the path we take. No guilt, No judgment. Good job. We do what we can. The only person we answer to is ourselves. Come on, one more on each side. Oh, you've got more in you? Ah. And let's reach long with our feet and our arms, arching our lower backs, drawing air through the chest and into the abdomen. Feeling our abdomen, getting a good stretch of the abs, bringing the air through to the depth of our spine. Feeling the curvature in our lower backs, pressing up. And lowering the lower backs back to their normal position, bringing our arms along the sides of our bodies. Drawing a few deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And we finish with an affirmation, choosing a sentence or a word that resonates best with you today, that resonates for 2021, something that's going to power you and motivate you to stay true to you. Bringing our awareness to our breath. The hearts in our chest. The strength in our bodies and our mind. And just bringing our awareness back to the sounds of the space around us. With smiles on our faces, giving thanks for this incredible community, all of our opportunities to practice together this year, near and far. We have been very blessed, and this has been an absolute silver lining of COVID. I am thankful for each one of you and for your support. And I'm very proud of the time that you've taken for yourselves. Well done to each of you. Thank you for coming, for joining my classes, for being a part of my 2020. We give thanks for something that we are each grateful for. And as we are ready, we roll ourselves over and up gently, coming back to our space and our worlds. And those that are in our worlds, we share our blessings with them and our happiness. Namaste. Oh, thank you guys so much. It's been a lovely year. I'm really glad you each came into my world and have entrusted me with your practice. Thank you. It's been really nice practicing with you and baby. Seeing all of your transformations and you supporting me through mine. So thank you. It's been really nice.